Hello and welcome to the Brunton podcast series. I'm delighted to welcome Mark Helbach from Baysek Machines in the US. Mark, welcome. Mark, I'm sure that most of our audience will know a little bit about you and about Baysek, but for those that don't, just give us a little potted history as to Baysek Machines.
Well, first off, thanks for having me, Dan. Appreciate the opportunity here. Baysek Machines, we're a small family-owned company. We have headquartered here in Nelsonville, Wisconsin. You got to want to get to Nelsonville. It's not somewhere where you just pass through, okay? So we're small town folks that take care of our customers. The company was founded by my father in 1995, and he brought with him, he came from the corrugated industry and instilled the value in the company and everybody here that, hey, it's important to get the order out and how to take care of the corrugated converters, okay? And again, we're 30 people here in Nelsonville. We also have an office in the UK that provides sales, technical support, service, parts and installations for other parts of the world, okay?
So obviously you explained there a little bit about the small family business, obviously very much hand in hand with your employees and with your customers. I know it's probably a little bit in the rear view mirror right now, but take us back to sort of 2020, 21. How were you impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and what sort of impact did that have on you as a manufacturer and also as a supplier?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we faced the same thing everybody else did, and in March, of 2020, hey, the world stopped, and everybody was wondering, okay, where are we? Where are we going? Are we ever going to have anything again? You know, and hey, it was a little bit hand to mouth there for a period of 6 months and some uncertainties. And then later that fall, things just took off, okay? And the orders started heating up. People realized that the world wasn't going to stop, I guess. And in the packaging, it changed a lot of things with people online. The institutional size packaging reduced to personal size packaging in the food industry and everything. So and it created a lot of demand is what we saw. Our users are heavy in that food and beverage industry and interpacking. So, hey, we saw things really take off, and they haven't slowed down since, okay? We've experienced record growth over the last couple of years. We are these small town folks. We've got a lot of great people here that just take things and get things done and take great care of our customers. So we're continuing to see that growth, continuing to see strong orders, and we're planning for it to stay that way.
And Mark, what sort of impact did it have on your international client base? Because I know that since your father founded the business in 1995, that you've had success not just at home in the domestic US market, but obviously in Europe and further afield, as far as Australia and New Zealand. So, what sort of impact did that have? That whole COVID and post-COVID period. What impact did that have on your international customer base?
Actually, some of the international business, it became easier to visit, okay? Even though everybody likes that personal contact, what we have going here right now, Dan, with the Zoom interviews and everything, it really shrank up those travel times, if you will, presentation times. We took advantage of this technology. We would do demonstrations in-house, and it actually created a lot of interest and a lot of activity. On the advertising, social media side, also got into that heavily and created an interest. So, hey, it didn't have a great effect as far as actual contact with customers. We were just missing the personal face-to-face. We all know it. We all love it. We're getting back into it and becoming more normal, I guess, if you will. But we were fortunate to come through some of that. Okay.
And so, Mark, let's focus a little bit now on obviously your flagship products. Obviously, you've become very well known for the C170 diecaster, but I was intrigued to see that in the last few months, you've really started pushing hard now with the C190. Tell our listeners a little bit about the C190, its background, you know, what were the drivers for it, where did the demand come from? So give us the backstory.
Sure, and like you said, hey, our flagship model is the C170, has been for years. Nick-free multiple out die cutting it's what we do. Over the years, there was always requests. Larger sheet size, larger sheet size, larger sheet size. And hey, you always look for ways to do it. It's always a challenge, but we found a way to do it. And we created the C190, which gives you an extra 200 millimeters across the machine. We don't sacrifice any length through. We're still 1400 millimeters through. So we're able to accommodate that larger sheet size. And I think a lot of that was you know, point of purchase, packaging, displays, things like that initiated some of that stuff. And also just the ability to do that larger sheet if they need to. A lot of our customers do a lot of small, multiple, complex out, you know, strip, stacked, all of that, but it gives flexibility to get into some of those larger markets that our typical customer may not have entered before. As far as the machine itself, we've actually had the C190 in the field for 3 years, okay? And we wanted to make sure that what we had changed was solid and sound before making the big promotion, I guess, if you will. So we kind of quietly promoted it over the last 3 years, let people know that was available if they had the need and the demand for that larger size. Late 2021, we just decided, hey, it's time to do a full launch, and hey, we've got a couple orders on the books, have delivered a couple since that time, so hey, it's successful. Kind of fits with up the promotion coming up later next month, I guess, with the show, Bigger and Better in Texas. Okay, kind of fits with our C190, bigger and better.
So Mark, you touched on Corrugated Week that is obviously taking place in San Antonio, the joint event from AICC and TAPI. So obviously the visitors to the show are going to be able to catch up with you. I know that one thing you've always said to me about exhibitions and shows and conferences is you can't wait to get back to face-to-face, because you guys always have great success at shows, don't you?
Yes, we do. Again, hey, we're a small company. We like that face-to-face. Shows have always been important to us. We're not the big guys and well-known, so we got to find ways and be there, I guess, for those exhibitions. Hey, we're one of the longest and highest ranking distributors, I guess, or displayer people here in the United States. We've participated internationally. I think you saw our guys at the sheet plant here a few weeks back. And in 2013, which is the initial, we got into CCE in Munich as well. And the original one, 2013, we had the 3 meter by 3 meter booth with a little computer screen. And then we went to a larger 10 by 20 booth and, you know, 2 computer screens, to the point where we had machines on display, operating, and boy, it's been a great show for us. We did it in 2020, earlier this year, March. Traffic down incredibly on any show we've been to since the COVID. The footfall or the traffic count down quite a bit, but people are there for a reason. They're there to work, they're focused, and they've been good. We're looking forward to it again. CCE 2023, having a machine on display again. And we did do the machine on display at Supercore a year ago in August. So hey, we like the shows. We're back at it full force.
And so, Mark, obviously, it's busy times for you. I know that during COVID, you probably used the opportunity to enhance and develop an R&D, etc. So, what can we expect to see from you over the coming 12, 18, 24 months? Have you got anything new and exciting you can tell us about?
Well, we have the 190, of course, and then we're always looking to make small enhancements to the existing machines, make them a little bit more user-friendly. We've upgraded HMI technologies, touch screens, added features within it to make it more convenient for the operators, okay? So some of that continuing. Again, the big one right now is the C190. Another machine that's gained a lot over COVID here is we have a load turner that is in line. It was designed to go in line with our die cutter to flip loads, say from a print down to a print up, which is the way we would die cut, a craft white side up versus white side down, just to reduce, more ergonomically correct, reduce some manual labor. And a lot of people have taken to that. And really what it is, Dan, is it's like our pre-feeder to our die cutter. So that's really taken off since COVID, especially with the labor shortages. We're a one-person operator. We don't need multiple people on the machine. And we've also done several retrofits with the load turner, retrofitted a machine in the field and added the load turner as the pre-feeder in front of machines that are in the field. So that's been a very interesting item and a growth item for us as well, Dan.
And Mark, you touched on there, obviously trying to develop systems that require fewer operators. I want to move away from Baysek now and really talk to you just generally about what your views are on the industry at large, because there is no doubt that there is an element of lost skill sets with people retiring and not getting the next generation coming through. Post-pandemic, people deciding they could drive Amazon delivery trucks instead of forklift trucks. So tell me, just in a bit of a nutshell, what's your view on where are the challenges that converters really face for the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, and hey, the workforce is one of them, Dan. We hear it here in the United States. We hear it in England. We hear it wherever I've traveled throughout Europe. We've heard it down under, Australia, New Zealand. Everybody facing the same challenges. And sometimes you just ask yourself, where did everybody go? But it's the same all over the world. I think that one's going to continue. And we've actually had customers that have said, hey, I need more of your machines. It only takes one person to operate it, where some of the other machinery that does die cutting like we do, it takes multiple operators and stuff to do. So we've seen an increase on that side. I think availability is going to continue as a challenge for everyone.
And obviously another important aspect, energy supply, particularly here in Europe with the current conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. I mean, obviously we've seen gas pipes being shut off, and energy efficiency comes to the fore. Obviously the Baysek equipment, servo driven, etc. So we're looking at energy reduction within the manufacturing space.
Yeah. Well, our machine is very floor space friendly, I guess. Okay, so we don't consume a lot of floor space or anything like that, Dan. Energy consumption, we get that question once in a while. We provide the information as far as FLA and average amp draws and everything, and energy consumption has not been a reason for anybody not to buy a Baysek.
Well, Mark, thank you so much indeed. It's been great to catch up with you. I'm looking forward to pulling on my Stetson and catching up with you in San Antonio in mid-September at Corrugated Week. So, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. All the best.
Dan, appreciate the time and attention and the opportunity to spend some time with you. Thank you.